Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Martial Universe Season 9 Part 22 based on novel. So let's start. Several human figures stood in front of the chaotic tower. They were all watching the tightly shut door that led into the enormous stone tower before them. It had been a month since Lin Dong had entered. Lin Dong did not show any indications of coming out during this 1 month. This caused Ji Shou's group to feel quite startled. Although they were aware that the desolation chi within the chaotic tower had the miraculous effect of tempering one's physical body, the desolation chi was also exceptionally heavy. It was not easy to endure for 1 month within it. Could something have happened? Ji Mengqi's pretty eyes stared at the tower door, as she asked in a worried voice. It should be fine. Lin Dong's strength is extraordinary, and he has a cautious character. He will definitely withdraw if he realizes that he can no longer endure. The reason for the current situation is likely because he does not wish to come out, Ji Shou muttered. Ha ha, but for someone with his strength, it is rare to be able to endure for 1 month within the chaotic tower. Even Shintu Ju only lasted for 20 days within the tower. That fellow is a monster. The corners of Ji Mengqi's mouth lifted. This slight action caused her pretty face to appear exceptionally enchanting. He is indeed a monster. If he is given some time to grow, he will definitely have a place within this chaotic demon sea. Ji Shou nodded. However, he continued in a regretful manner, it's a pity, our Ji clan is unable to employ him. A mighty eagle will not be willing to simply live in a corner. Our Ji clan is perhaps too small in his eyes. Ji Mengqi quietly said. That lad's expectations are likely too high. Even the big miss of our Ji clan might not be able to retain him even if she personally takes action. This brat, don't tell me that he is unaware that the number of people who like you can line up from one corner of the island to the other. Ji Shou laughed. Ji Mengqi's face involuntarily turned bright red after hearing Ji Shou's teasing. She quickly spoke in a helpless manner, there is nothing I can do if the other party does not fancy me. Ji Shou laughed loudly upon seeing this. He was just about to speak, when his expression suddenly altered. His eyes immediately turned towards the door of the chaotic tower, which had remained tightly shut for a month. It seems that he is about to come out. Ji Mengqi hurriedly turned her pretty eyes over upon hearing this. Rumble. As they shifted their gazes, the thick stone door, which had been tightly shut for a month, finally emitted a deep rumbling sound at this moment, as an ancient desolation chi emerged. At the same time, a skinny figure also slowly walked out of the darkness. Finally, he stood under the warm sunlight. Who? Lin Dong inhaled a deep breath of fresh air. After which, he looked at Ji Shou's group in front of the chaotic tower, as a smile surfaced on his face. The eyes of Ji Shou's group involuntarily shrunk as they watched Lin Dong, who had walked out from the chaotic tower. They could sense that there was clearly quite a significant difference between the current Lin Dong and the one from a month ago. The strange thing was that this change was not on the surface. Based on their senses, they could feel that there seemed to be an extremely explosive and frightening strength under the body of this skinny figure. Such strength was even greater than a month ago. Ha ha, it looks like little friend Lin Dong's 1 month of bitter training has resulted in great benefits. Ji Shou slowly recovered from his shock and laughed. I must really thank the Ji clan for this. Lin Dong laughed. This trip to the chaotic tower had not only increased his strength, but had also allowed his to stabilize his somewhat superficial yuan power. Of course, most importantly, he had finally woken the ancestor stone spirit. We merely helped each other. If it was not for little friend Lin Dong's help, our Ji clan will not even be able to obtain a quota. Ji Shou laughed and waved his hand. Lin Dong chuckled. He had some good feelings towards the Ji clan. Although he had contributed greatly, the latter was also not petty, and did not do anything despicable like abandoning him after their success. Lin Dong, there will be stormy weather over the sea during these few days. It will be inconvenient to head out to sea. Why don't you rest for a couple of days on Martial Gathering Island? Ji Mengqi smiled sweetly. Lin Dong hesitated slightly after hearing this. Finally, he grinned and nodded. He had obtained many benefits from the Gu clan. It would be a little unbecoming for him to simply leave at this moment. Joy flashed across Gu Mingqi's eyes after seeing that Lin Dong did not reject. Her smile, which was like a blossoming flower, appeared exceptionally beautiful. In that case, let's leave. We will head back to the Gu clan and rest. Gu Shou also smiled after seeing this. He was naturally happy to have Lin Dong remain a little longer. Moreover, he was also aware of Gu Mingqi's charm. If he allowed these two young individuals to interact, they might end up catching each other's eye. Their Gu clan would then gain an expert with great potential. Lin Dong nodded. His body had just moved, when his heart suddenly shook. He lifted his head and looked at the distant sky. An extremely powerful aura had suddenly appeared at that spot. That aura was even more powerful than Gu Shou beside him. Eh? When Lin Dong looked over, Gu Shou had also clearly sensed this aura, and an exclamation immediately escaped his mouth. He frowned slightly, as he looked in that direction. Finally, he muttered, "What a powerful aura, I wonder just who it is. It seems to be heading towards our martial gathering island." Gu Mingqi also remarked in a surprised manner. Perhaps it is a VIP of a clan. Gu Shou thought for a moment before speaking. This martial gathering island was guarded by their 5 great clans. With the ability of the 5 great clans, they would naturally be acquainted with many powerful individuals in the Heaven Sea Wind region. Hence, he did not appear exceptionally surprised. Lin Dong nodded slightly after hearing this. He was just about to withdraw his gaze when a raspy voice sounded from within his body. "It is after you." Lin Dong's footsteps suddenly stopped as his pupils contracted. The one who had uttered those words was naturally the ancestor stone spirit. However, after him? Since when did he offend an expert of this level? Is that the nefarious bone old man? Lin Dong's eyes flickered. A thought suddenly appeared, as he exclaimed in his heart. The ancestor stone did not respond this time around. Clearly, it had quietly acknowledged it. This time around, Lin Dong's expression gradually became ugly. He did not expect that the nefarious bone old man would actually be this quick. Is there something wrong? Gu Mingqi could not help but ask in a concerned manner after seeing Lin Dong's expression suddenly turn ugly. It is the nefarious bone old man. Lin Dong slowly spoke in a somewhat dark and solemn manner. Nefarious bone old man. Gu Shou and Gu Mingqi were startled upon hearing this. Soon after, their expressions changed. Is he after you? From the looks of it, these people had likely learnt about the matter of Lin Dong killing a disciple of the nefarious bone old man from Gu Yang. Lin Dong slightly nodded. He lifted his head, as he gazed in the direction where the powerful aura was originating from. His eyes were faintly a little dark and stern. He had really attracted a big problem this time around. Gu Shou had a grave expression. He was also clearly aware of how troublesome it was to deal with this nefarious bone old man. Most importantly, this person was a sinecure of the demonic wind cave. With this titanic faction behind him, this eccentric old ghost might not even give their Gu clan any face. Elder Gu Shou, what should we do? Gu Mingqi glanced at Gu Shou and softly asked. This nefarious bone old man was clearly not a friendly character. Although Lin Dong's strength was considered to be at the peak of the younger generation, there was still quite a big gap between him and an older expert like the nefarious bone old man who had dominated the Heaven Wind Sea region for many years. Gu Shou frowned tightly. His expression was a little volatile. It was a long while later, before he clenched his teeth and firmly spoke, "No matter what, Lin Dong is an important guest of our Gu clan as long as he is on Martial Gathering Island. This nefarious bone old man must seek the opinion of our Gu clan before touching him." Lin Dong's heart warmed slightly after hearing this. He immediately said, "Elder Gu Shou, there's no need to act this way. This is my personal matter, and it will not do to implicate the Gu clan. Little friend Lin Dong, there is no need to say any more." I might be able to just wash my hands if this occurred somewhere else. However, since you are here, you are an important guest of our GU clan. If others learn that our GU clan cannot even protect our guest, how will my GU clan continue surviving in this Heaven Wind Sea region? GU Sho waved his hand, and spoke in a deep voice. Lin Dong's mouth moved, as good feelings arose within his heart due to GU Sho's stubbornness. After all, not everyone had the gall to challenge an well-known expert like the nefarious Bone Old Man because of a nameless young person like him. However, Lin Dong also had his own plans. That nefarious Bone Old Man was arriving in an extremely aggressive manner, and it was likely that he would not be willing to leave empty-handed. Moreover, it was impossible for Lin Dong to hide in this martial gathering island forever. Hence, he needed to think of a way to escape the predicament he was in. What an irritating old ghost. Lin Dong's eyes slightly narrowed, as his gaze turned towards the distant azure sky. A rushing wind sound appeared, and that powerful overbearing aura was also not the least bit concealed. It directly spread over the sky above Martial Gathering Island. Swoosh swoosh. The appearance of such a powerful aura naturally attracted the attention of the various experts on the island. Immediately, the sound of splitting wind appeared. Many figures were stood in the air. Their eyes were surprised, as they looked at the direction where the aura was originating from. Swoosh! A grey light finally tore through the sky, and appeared in the sky above Martial Gathering Island under the attention of countless watching eyes. The light scattered. An old man in grey robes with grey hair scattered over his shoulders held a bone walking stick as he appeared. A monstrous powerful aura followed him. Where is that brat who has killed my disciple? Tell him to come out. The grey-robed old man appeared in a flash. His ruthless ice-cold eyes were like vipers, as they slowly swept over the interior of Martial Gathering Island. A sinister shout rumbled in the sky above the island. The grey-robed old man stood in the air above Martial Gathering Island. His dark and stern cry was wrapped by majestic Yuan power, as it thundered across the island. A commotion broke out over Martial Gathering Island because of this sudden cry, and the sound of rushing wind appeared. Many pairs of eyes looked at the grey-robed old man in the distant sky with stunned eyes. The latter clearly possessed quite a reputation in this Heaven Wind Sea region. Hence, and cries of surprise began to spread after everyone saw him. That is the nefarious Bone Old Man. Why has this old ghost come to Martial Gathering Island in such an aggressive manner? Who has killed his disciple? Such a bold fellow. Does he not know that this old ghost is overbearing and protects those close to him even if they are at fault? Looks like Martial Gathering Island will not be peaceful today. The nefarious Bone Old Man stood in the air. His slightly deep eyes swept across Martial Gathering Island like viper. Those whispers that reached his ears caused the coldness in his eyes to become a little more intense. Master. Some rushing wind sounds suddenly appeared a short distance away, as a couple of figures hurried over. Chen Luo was leading the group. He hurriedly cried out respectfully after seeing the grey-robed old man. Chen Luo, you cannot even deal with the murderer of your junior? You actually need this old man to come personally. The nefarious Bone Old Man glanced at Chen Luo, before speaking in a cold voice. Cold sweat surfaced on Chen Luo's forehead after hearing the words of the nefarious Bone Old Man. He hurriedly replied, this disciple had wanted to personally capture that brat, and hand him over to Master for you to deal with. However, that fellow is rather powerful, and even Shintu Ju is no match for him. Oh. Those dark and cold eyes of the nefarious Bone Old Man moved slightly upon hearing this. He had heard of the Shintu clan's Iron Azura. Despite his young age, he had already reached the advanced profound life stage. A talent that made countless others envious. The only ones within the Heaven Wind Sea region that could defeat him were likely the two young monsters from the two great caves. It was unexpected that another person, who could do this, had appeared. Where is that person? The nefarious Bone Old Man spoke in an indifferent voice. Regardless of what kind of talent that person had, that person should never have killed his disciple. If he did not take that brat's life as revenge, it was likely that everyone would think that he, the nefarious Bone Old Man could not even protect his own disciple. He is currently a guest at the GU clan. Joy flashed across Chen Luo's lowered eyes as he quickly replied. The GU clan, huh? The nefarious Bone Old Man narrowed his eyes. Soon after, his gaze swept forth, as a powerful voice once again resounded in the sky, Elder GU Show. I do not wish to become enemies with your GU clan. Please hand over the brat who killed my disciple. GU Show's elderly face was a little gloomy as he stood on a distant mountain. His eyes flickered slightly, before he moved his body and flew into the sky. After which, he cupped his hands together and laughed towards nefarious Bone Old Man. Ha ha, nefarious Bone Old Man, I trust that you have been well since we've last met. The nefarious Bone Old Man's eyes were indifferent, as they observed GU Show. However, he ignored the latter's smiling face, and spoke in an indifferent voice. Elder GU Show, my disciple has been killed by someone. I do not have the mood to chat with you now. Elder GU Show, you should hand that Lindong over. Chen Luo laughed coldly as he stood by the side. GU Show's expression sunk slightly, as he frowned and said, nefarious Bone Old Man, Lindong is an important guest of my GU clan. Regardless of what grudges you have, I will not allow you to touch him on this martial gathering island. You mean, you are willing to become enemies with me because of a youngster? A dark chill flashed across the nefarious Bone Old Man's eyes as he slowly said. At this point, the nefarious Bone Old Man suddenly looked towards the far-off mountain peak. His dark and cold eyes were like a viper's, as they locked onto a skinny young figure. Brat, you are the one who killed my disciple, right? The nefarious Bone Old Man's eyes locked onto Lindong from a distance, as he suddenly shouted in a stern voice. Immediately, the Yuan power in the area rippled. Like thunder, his voice violently exploded beside Lindong's ear. The wild and violent sonic wave that entered his ears caused Lindong's body to jerk slightly. Waves of piercing pain could be felt from his eardrums, while his expression gradually darkened. Be careful. This nefarious Bone Old Man has stepped into the perfect profound life stage many years ago. His strength is not something that Shintu Ju can match. Ji Mengqi by the side warned in a solemn manner. Lindong nodded slightly. He could sense a dangerous ripple from this nefarious Bone Old Man. This dangerous feeling did not appear like a perfect profound life stage expert. It was possible that this old ghost had even touched the profound death stage. Lindong's heart involuntarily sunk after having such thoughts. This old fellow was really not an ordinary person. It seemed like Lindong would really have to put in a great amount of effort in order to escape from him. This old man does not care what kind of background you have. A life for a life. I will take this life of yours for my disciple today. The nefarious Bone Old Man glared at Lindong with dark eyes that were filled with murderous intent. He took a step forward, and appeared in the air above the mountain as though he had teleported. The bone walking stick in his hand slammed onto the air, as a majestic Yuan power pillar whistled out and swept towards Lindong. Nefarious Bone Old Man, this is Martial Gathering Island. It's not a place where you can behave in such a manner. Fury flashed across Ji Shou's face after he saw this. With a low shout, his body appeared in front of Lindong, and he threw a punch forward. Yuan power surged, and his punch scattered that Yuan power pillar. Although the Yuan power pillar was scattered, Ji Shou's body thrust backwards, and he was forced to take a couple of steps back. Clearly, there was still some gap between his strength and that of the nefarious Bone Old Man. Ji Shou, do you really think that you are this old man's match? The nefarious Bone Old Man cried out coldly while looking at Ji Shou, who had intervened, with dark and cold eyes. I have said that I will not allow you to touch Lindong as long as he is still on this Martial Gathering Island. Ji Shou did not give in. He quickly waved his hand, and a signal flare shot out. Finally, it exploded in the air. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. Many rushing wind sounds appeared after this signal flare exploded. Numerous experts from the GU clan hurried over from all directions. They were hovered in the air, as they looked at the nefarious Bone Old Man with vigilant eyes. Nefarious Bone Old Man, I hope that you will not start any dispute on this martial gathering island on the account of the GU clan. Otherwise, if the clan head knows about this, it is likely that he will also be a little furious. A white-haired old man stood in the air in front of the many GU clan's experts. He was also an elder of the GU clan, with a strength that was not inferior to GU Show. Are you planning to use GU Fen's name to pressure this old man? The eyes of the Nefarious Bone Old Man clearly changed slightly, after hearing the clan head of the GU clan being mentioned. He immediately laughed coldly. However, everyone could tell that the clan head of the GU clan was someone that even this usually overbearing fellow was wary of. Ha ha, that is not my intention. However, no matter how one puts it, this Lindong is an important guest of my GU clan. He has aided my GU clan in becoming the champion of the martial gathering. If we simply allow you to attack him as you wish here, who will dare aid our GU clan in the future? The white-haired old man laughed faintly. Do you mean that as long as Lindong leaves Martial Gathering Island, he will no longer be under the protection of your GU clan? Chen Luo's eyes rotated as he said. The white-haired old man's eyes hardened. He frowned slightly and said, in theory, that is the case, however, it is best not to make enemies. I hope that on the account of our GU clan, you can. I will let him off as long as this brat destroy his own cultivation in front of me. The Nefarious Bone Old Man looked at Lindong in a dark and cold manner, as he replied indifferently. I'm sorry. I do not have any thoughts of harming myself. If you have such an interest in these things, you can cripple yourself. Lindong grinned at the Nefarious Bone Old Man and responded. What a sharp-tongued brat, the Nefarious Bone Old Man laughed sinisterly. However, whether or not you become a cripple, will not be for the likes of you to decide. I will definitely let you pay the price once I capture you. Lindong laughed coldly, as killing desire surged from deep within his eyes. I will temporarily let you off today since the GU clan is protecting you. However, a dark and malicious smile surfaced on the Nefarious Bone Old Man's face. A cold glint immediately flashed over his eyes, as a greyish light suddenly shot out from them. After which, it shot into Lindong's body at an astonishing speed. I will admit defeat if you wish to hide on this martial gathering island forever like a coward. However, if you dare step out of this island, I will let you understand what is known as a homeless stray is better off being dead. Lindong slowly clenched his fists after hearing these words from the Nefarious Bone Old Man, as his eyes faintly became a little sinister. This old dog was really irritating. I will be staying on this martial gathering island during this period of time. Brat, if you are bold enough, you can simply be a coward and stay on this island for the rest of your life. Do not think of trying to secretly escape. I have already planted a bone seal in your body, and it has already entered deep into your bones. You will not be able to escape my detection no matter where you flee to. Humph, since this old man has said that I will take your life, no one will be able to protect you. In the sky, the Nefarious Bone Old Man stared at Lindong in a sinister manner. Soon after, he icily chuckled, and with a wave of his sleeve, both he and Chen Luo landed at the Wei clan area on Martial Gathering Island. The tense and hostile atmosphere gradually calmed down after the Nefarious Bone Old Man left. Those experts from the GU clan looked at each other, seeing the grave expressions on all their faces. No matter how one put it, that Nefarious Bone Old Man was a character that was quite difficult to deal with. GU Shou descended from the sky. He pursed his lips, as he looked at Lindong and said, Little friend Lindong, you should temporarily stay on Martial Gathering Island. That Nefarious Bone Old Man will not dare to attack you as long as you are on the island. That old fellow's words might be fierce, but he is unable to remain here forever. Lindong narrowed his eyes. It was impossible for that Nefarious Bone Old Man to remain here forever, but this was also true for Lindong. He not only needed to find the second ancestral symbol, but he also needed to look for Little Martin and Little Flame. Hence, he also could not afford to waste his time. Most importantly, you have been struck by that Nefarious Bone Old Man's bone seal. You must remove it if you wish to escape from his detection. Gu Mengchi's pretty eyes looked at Lindong in a worried manner as she said, Bone seal her. Lin Dong covered his fist as yuan power circulated within his body. He could sense that there seemed to be a trace of an extremely profound fluctuation hidden deep within his bones. That fluctuation might not cause any damage to his body, but it would continuously transmit his location to the nefarious Bone Old Man. Mengqi is right. Little friend Lin Dong, regardless of what your plans are, you should remain on the island and remove that bone seal first. After which, you can find an opportunity to leave quietly. Ji Yu Shou said. In that case, thank you, Elder Ji Yu Shou. Lin Dong pondered for a moment and nodded. He did not try to act brave. That nefarious Bone Old Man was indeed extremely difficult to deal with. Given Lin Dong's current strength, he must be extremely cautious. It's nothing. You have helped our GU clan, and this is something that our GU clan should do. However, that nefarious Bone Old Man has some relations with that demonic wind cave after all. Our GU clan will no longer have any reason to help you once you leave Martial Gathering Island. GU Shou waved his hand and said. One must ultimately resolve one's own problems. Lin Dong smiled. His tone did not reveal much fear. The things that he had experienced was likely beyond the imagination of GU Shou. Although that nefarious Bone Old Man was strong, the latter had not reached the level where he could force Lin Dong into a dead end. GU Shou did not speak any further after seeing this. He gave some instructions, before turning around to leave, while Lin Dong and the rest quickly followed behind. The experts on the island involuntarily felt a little regretful upon seeing that this situation had ended in an anticlimactic manner. However, they were quite curious as to whether Lin Dong would be able to escape from his current predicament. Could Lin Dong truly be planning to hide on this Martial Gathering Island forever like a coward? Lin Dong sat on his bed in the quiet room. Both of his eyes were tightly shut, while green light continuously flickered on his body. The yuan power within it surged, and strands of devouring power slowly invaded his bones in search of that hidden bone seal within his body. Just where will you hide? This search continued for half an hour, before a thought passed through Lin Dong's mind. After which, he locked onto a certain spot within his body. There was a weak black light vaguely present deep within the green glowing bones. It was the bone seal that the nefarious Bone Old Man had left within his body. Lin Dong quickly maneuvered yuan power to invade the hidden bone seal after finding it. However, the yuan power emitted a white smoke the moment they came into contact with the black bone seal. It had been directly eroded by the black bone seal. This unforeseen event caused a shock to appear in Lin Dong's heart. The bone seal was actually so powerful? There is an extremely faint trace of death chi present in the bone seal. Your yuan power will be eroded if it touches that thing. You can only use the devouring power if you wish to remove it. A faint raspy voice suddenly sounded within Lin Dong's mind. It was the ancestor stone spirit. Death chi, that old ghost has indeed touched the profound death stage. Lin Dong's heart sunk as he remarked. He can only be barely considered as half-step to the profound death stage. However, this is already extremely troublesome for you to deal with, the ancestor stone spirit replied. There is quite a big gap in your strength. Even though you possess the devouring ancestral symbol, you will need several days to remove the bone seal. That nefarious Bone Old Man will also detect it the moment you remove the bone seal. At that time, he will surely take other precautions. Lin Dong opened his eyes. A cold glint flashed across them as he sneered. If that old ghost really thinks that I am a soft persimmon that he can squeeze, he is clearly mistaken. A half-step to profound death stage expert was indeed powerful, and even Lin Dong would have a headache dealing with one. However, he possessed many hidden trump cards up his sleeves. If Lin Dong really wanted to go all out, that nefarious Bone Old Man would be in quite a predicament. Half-step to profound death stage. You have something that can deal with him, but you lack the ingredients. The ancestor stone spirit suddenly said. What is it? Lin Dong asked in a startled manner. The burning sky cauldron. The burning sky cauldron? Lin Dong knitted his brow and said, it may be a pure yuan treasure, but even if I activate the burning sky array, it will only be able to trap him for a while. The burning sky array is only one of the formations of the burning sky cauldron. Its true technique is the 8-level burning sky gate. The ancestor stone spirit replied. 8-level burning sky gate. Lin Dong was momentarily startled. A glint flashed across his eyes, as he asked in a surprised voice, "It is the magma gates that old man Fen Tian used to suppress the Yimo general." "I?" "It seems that the formation gates are needed to activate the 8-level burning sky gate, right?" Lin Dong hesitated for a moment. He remembered that old man Fen Tian had used 8 light tablets that had already been refined when he activated the 8-level burning sky gate back then. However, those light tablets had already turned into gates to suppress the Yimo general. "That's right. It is why I said that you lack the ingredients. Otherwise, if you use this 8-level burning sky gate, even an expert at the half-step to profound death stage will not escape unscathed." The ancestor stone said. "What ingredients are necessary to refine that formation gate light tablets?" Lin Dong thought for a moment before inquiring. 8 active volcanoes are all that is needed. The ancestor stone casually replied. However, Lin Dong seemed to hear mockery from his words. Immediately, his face turned somewhat green. He was not old man Fen Tian, who possessed the kind of terrifying strength that could refine 8 volcano into formation gates. "Ha ha, if you do not have that ability, you can settle for something of lower quality. Find 8 volcano flame essence stones, and it will also be possible to refine the formation gates." Volcano flame essence stones. Lin Dong muttered to himself, before quickly shaking his head helplessly. He had heard of this object. Formed from the essence energy of a volcano, it contained the energy of a volcano within it and was of great help to certain people practicing unique martial arts. Additionally, it was extremely rare. Hence, it would definitely be expensive whenever it occasionally appeared. Obtaining 8 of them was easier said than done. This method was no different from having not mentioned it. "Is there any other methods? Since you are temporarily unable to find any volcano flame essence stones, you can only use some other things," the ancestor stone laughed. "Tell me something reasonable." Lin Dong reminded helplessly. He did not wish to end up being happy for nothing again. "You still have the ancient divine flame tablet from the Flame Master, right?" the ancestor stone spirit asked. Lin Dong was slightly startled. He quickly clenched his hand, and a bright red ancient tablet appeared within it. He held the ancient tablet, as he felt the surging heat from within. Finally, he asked curiously, "Is this the ancient divine flame tablet? What can it be used for?" "You will know its exact use once you find the possessor of the blazing ancestral symbol in the future. This thing can protect your life if someone attacks you." The one who possessed the blazing ancestral symbol, Lin Dong's eyes turned slightly solemn. It was said that he is called Mo Luo, and is a renowned overlord in this chaotic demon sea. You don't need to be bothered by all this for now. Your most important task right now is to resolve the imminent trouble. If you listen to me, we will be able to set a trap for that old ghost. Lin Dong rubbed his nose. He could hear some excitement from the tone of the ancestral stone, and the expression in his eyes quickly became a little strange. Could it be that this fellow wished for some excitement after having been in a slumber for such a long time? However, this was also a good thing. Within his room, Lin Dong's eyes flickered as he listened to the plan that the ancestor stone was transmitting from within his mind. The corners of his mouth slowly lifted into an icy cold arc. This video will end here.